Well, hello and welcome to Little State Big Voices with myself, Shahida, and my fabulous co-host, Tracy.
Hey y'all.
So today we have special guests. We have a couple of guests going to join us today. We always talk about our book club. And so we thought it would be great to have the ladies from our book club join us, talk about 2024, what we have envisioned for 2025, what it's like to have a sisterhood that, because we've been together for how long? Like 20 something years?
Collectively, yes, like off and on over 20 years because I want to say 2001 was the year I joined. And then I think there were some iterations before even I came aboard, but
Hmm.
the current like core group started around that 2001 time.
Right. And then I left and went to Mississippi for 6 years. No, no, no. That was before. So I came back, and then when I moved to Rhode Island, that's when I stopped. And I was like, oh no, I don't want to do the travel anymore, but I missed it too much, so I'm back.
I
So
left too. I left for I think 2 years and then I came
hmm.
back. They tricked me into coming back, but we'll talk about that.
Okay. So we have on with us now, we have in the back waiting for us to log them in is Teresa and Norma. And I think there are going to be a couple others that join us, but we're going to bring them in now.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
First
Hi,
episode
ladies.
of
Yes. Yes.
2025. I was just talking about how y'all tricked me into coming back to the book club.
I don't recall.
You just sound guilty on that one.
Well,
So we were
we've
saying
been
that we
in.
wanted to talk about our sisterhood, our book club, 2024, any type of reflection on that and what we're looking forward to in the book club as far as 2025 goes and personally. And what kind of, things we might have triumphed over the last year.
So I'll say that we have been in business since 2001. And so
Tracy
we
said
are
that.
marking our 24th year
Yeah.
in a couple of weeks. The
Now, who's been like consistent the whole 24 years? You, Teresa? That's crazy.
OG,
That is wild.
OG in the
I
book club.
I don't know how many years because I did break up
Yep.
that time when I moved to Rhode Island and I didn't think I want to do all the commuting, but it's not that much of a big
45
deal
minutes
anymore.
in the
Yeah,
car.
I know, but
Sometimes
you know
with
what? It was during the time when my kids were younger
yeah.
too. And so
Yeah.
I was much busier when I was like, a real active mom because, there were a lot of things like my son played Friday night football.
Yep.
They always had things on. So Friday nights just didn't work out for me. So I ended up having to like, skedaddle for a little bit.
Yep. Take a
Now
break.
I'm a grandma.
Wow, have the times changed.
Hmm. Hmm. And then we talked about how Kendall was what?
A baby. She was our baby.
And now she's
Well,
about to graduate high school.
yep. Kendall's going to turn 18 and she's graduating in May.
That is
So when
crazy.
I joined, Elijah was just born, Tracy's son.
I was
Yes.
pregnant with Elijah when I started. I don't even know if I
Yep.
knew I was pregnant that day. It was
So
Martin
when I
Luther
met
King
you,
Day,
hmm
2001, and he was born in October. So I was just like newly, freshly impregnated and didn't even, I don't think I knew that day.
Yeah.
yep.
I don't
So
think so either.
Because I
my,
remember your apartment in Hyde Park then.
Yep. But it was I think we did a dinner. It was at
Cheesecake
the
Factory,
Cheesecake Factory in
it,
Newton, which
Chestnut
is no
Hill.
longer there.
Yep.
That Cheesecake Factory is no longer there because
Yeah.
it's across the street from the Chestnut Hill Mall. That's,
Yep.
that other mall area. Yep.
my
Yep.
first meeting was actually at Leah's house. I met Natasha online, and I met her at Dunkin' Donuts, or no, it wasn't Dunkin'. It was Kentucky Fried Chicken. I'm like, oh, am I crazy? I'm meeting this stranger, and ended up being like a great time. So that's
So you met her online. Did you meet her on what was it? Remember that
Boston
Boston.
Boston Blacks
Blacks
Online?
Online. It was
That
Yeah.
like
was the shit.
crazy,
That's how
right?
I reconnected with Natasha.
And
That's
it
how
really
I
wasn't
met her.
online. It was like a phone thing.
It
It
was
was a phone
online. It
thing?
was email.
Okay.
When I
Email. Yes, it was
Yeah, it was
email. It
email.
was email.
the
And they
Yes.
Wild
had like
West
it was a message board.
of
Yes.
the
It was a
Wild West of
message
the
board.
internet days when
Exactly.
it was like
Boston Blacks online.
it was chat rooms that basically became like these ridiculous email threads, right? Is
Mm-hmm.
that's what it was
Exactly.
before group um emails and texts became annoying. That's how we
So
used to communicate.
it was just any information. So I put it out there. I'm like, are there any book clubs in Dorchester, Boston area? And that's how I found you
I
guys.
got recruited, I think.
So tell me how, I mean, Norma, how did you, what was the reason that you decided that you wanted to be in a book club?
Because I was always at the library, always. I was a new mom, and I just wanted to like collaborate or be with women, other women like myself, like my
Right.
um. And at the time, I was going from library to library in Dorchester, in the Boston area, and I had joined a couple of, but they weren't what I wanted.
Yeah.
So, and then I was in another book club that I didn't stay in long, that was only online by email. Like we would read books, and there was another one. It was I don't know if you guys remember. It was like a book club, and it was only they only sold African American authors.
I'm not even familiar with that.
Oh,
So our
okay.
first iteration was Queen's Literary Collective. That was the name we all
Yes.
agreed on. That
Right.
Hmm.
that was the main one. Um that pivoted around 2016,
And
17.
2017.
Wow.
And then we
Yeah.
became the Nubian Butterflies after that. So yeah, it's seen many like manifestations, but to have something going that long for decades, something that pours into us, and so that means we've known each other for almost a quarter of a century.
Oh, wow.
Some of us have known each other longer than that because we knew each other
Right.
before a book club or what have you, but it's it's really powerful. And we are a Black female book club. All of our members are Black women. The majority of the books that we read are by African American authors. It's not a requirement, but it's kind of where we lean towards because we crave that representation, and that's what we like to learn more about. And it's all genres of books. It's autobiographies, fiction, nonfiction, self-help, you name it. So it's just incredible to think about. I remember Teresa put together a spreadsheet one time of all the books we had read to date, and that was like 5 years ago, maybe. So, and it
No, I did that longer than
was
that,
it
and
longer than that?
I still keep that list up, and I need to circulate it because I have not done the months yet for this year.
And we've
So
never
I gotta,
repeated one book ever.
nope,
Yeah,
nope,
that's wild. But remember when we first started, we went by each month was a different genre.
yep.
Mhm.
And so I remember the very first genre was erotic literature for January. And I was just like, wow.
At the time, who was it? It was Zane. That was really
Yeah,
Yep, I
Zane
think
was
it
all we
was
had
Zane
popular.
that we
at the
ended up
time.
reading.
We haven't done too much of that.
Well, we don't actually pick genres like we did
No,
before,
no.
I mean, we still have like different genres, but we don't
Yeah.
we don't change up the genres anymore,
I feel
which
like
I think
people
I kind of
choose,
miss.
I think people choose the book that they're inspired by,
Yeah,
Hmm.
you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
so
We
that,
get a lot of memoirs.
Yeah, when I choose a book, I really research it. I put a lot of thought into it, and I try to find books outside of what we normally read
yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
that we can relate to, and that I like strong characters. Sometimes the books that we have read, they're all by mostly by African American women. So I think my next book, I'm going to try to find a male author.
Yeah, we did a couple of mails last
Yeah.
last
Mhm.
year.
Yeah.
And what the one I cannot think of it. Remember the one with the little boy? His mom was raising him as a girl. What was that
Oh,
book?
Oh, that was
yes.
so
I want to pick
good.
that one. Ooh, Precious.
Oh, I
It wasn't
know.
Precious.
No,
That
it
was a
wasn't
good
Percy.
one. That was a good one. I
That was a really, and his name was Percy or something.
Yeah.
His
We'll have
actual
to, maybe we'll
male
have to
name.
share our list. So when this
We do.
episode
I
drops,
think so.
we can
I
share
think
like
so.
our list to date, Teresa. No press, no press. Just the, the list
Look
to
at him.
date.
So
But I think we do a good job of picking like some thought provoking books because let's face it, I don't know, for people who are not readers, like they probably think, okay, Terry McMillan, Toni
Yeah.
Morrison, like they
yep.
think of, and there's nothing wrong with those, like those
Which
tried
is
and
books that
true.
we have read. We have read
But
those
Yeah,
right,
books.
because Mama
right.
was
Yeah, we
another
have.
one in that first year that we
Mama,
read, which I
that's
loved.
that's
Mama
my
Still
was
my
jam.
good.
favorite.
That is
Mama
my
was
jam.
excellent.
And we also used to choose like one non-black author.
Yeah,
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
yes, I
We
do
did used to
remember
do
that.
that. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So I kind of like that idea. I mean, if
Wait,
you look at the book that you had last year, Carmelita Tracy,
Oh yeah.
Oh,
who
Carmen Rita
joined our book,
Wong.
Financial advisor.
right? That I mean, I would think of her as non-African American.
Yeah.
But that was an amazing book.
Yeah.
That was really amazing book. Could relate to, and it's interesting because I said it about that book, but it's funny. I was watching something on television, and it was uh, Boston is always featured in books, in
Boston's
movies, theater,
everywhere.
and so there's no shortage of authors and actresses or actors or movies being having Boston as the feature.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so that's always kind of like, ooh, makes me excited when I'm like, oh, Boston, and they're talking about the
Yeah.
Charles River or something.
Boston has main character energy. It just
Yes,
does. Like I could be listening to a podcast, which I love podcasts, and somehow, some way, Boston's gonna sneak its way into this podcast. Like, really, people? Like you're in Iowa somewhere, and you didn't talk about Boston in your podcast. Boston just
right.
always finds a way. Like as problematic as people think it is, people always find some type of connection, be it academics, be it career, or whatever it is. Boston finds a way into a lot of people's stories, which is cool. Us all kind of being from Boston. Teresa, you weren't born in Boston though. Norma, were you
No,
born in Mass?
yes, I was born in Boston.
Okay. But Teresa, she's from out of state. She's a transplant.
I am definitely a transplant. Will always claim to be a transplant, but I'm here.
Yeah, you've been here for some years.
Look, long enough to have many valued relationships and living experience in this Northeast.
Speaking of Boston stories, what's the author? Is it Danzy?
Oh, Danzy Senna,
Yeah, have you guys read her books?
White Teeth.
Heather.
I think she did, what was it? Well, Caucasia, she
I
did.
read Caucasia. That's on my bookshelf right now.
Caucasia. Okay, because it's so funny because I actually was about to get the book James, and I didn't know that she was married to that author.
Oh, really?
And the one that's based on Huckleberry Finn and Jim.
We have a funny
So I was
story
gonna
about
get
that.
that book. So she's married to him. And I just realized I have never read any of her stories. And she's what, 2 years? She's like 2 years younger than me.
I think she
But
grew up in
she's
Cambridge,
always
right?
no, I think she grew up in Boston. She actually went to the Elma Lewis Center, which I did as well. And she has that in her bio. And I'm like, I love you just for that. Because if you're like old
Alma
school Boston,
Lewis.
Elma Lewis, that's like an iconic place.
She didn't do White Teeth. That was Zadie Smith. But
Yeah,
I do
White Teeth
have
was based.
Caucasia in my bookshelf, and that was a really good book. And I did not
I
know
think she has like 6 books.
she was married to that gentleman. I've read a couple of her books, but it's something I'd probably revisit because I don't read books anymore. I'm gonna listen to. So if it's on
Yeah,
audio, I'm gonna
I was
listen
gonna
to
say
it.
So that brings me to this. One of the things I was thinking about, because no New Year's resolutions for me, but
Hmm.
just, things that I look to do more of. So I'm a reader, been reading, in trouble, sit in the corner with my books for 15 minutes or whatever it was. So you can leave me there. I'm here with my books. And I have found that, particularly since maybe COVID, that I my attention span is like this. I can't read a whole page. Like
Hmm.
I look at something, it's like all that reading. I'm not trying to read all of that. And so
Right.
I am going to make a very concerted effort to read more
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
versus listening, because I listen to podcasts, I listen to my books, I listen. So I'm going to make a very strong effort to actually read. That's the
See,
goal.
and
Yeah.
that's me. I'm with you. Well, you guys do more of the like the audio, but I choose to read more only because just like you said, I feel like I hear so much noise. I like TV, I like podcasts, I listen to the radio. I'm always having something, some chatter going on in my head. Reading is when I can just actually read. I'm just actually concentrating on one thing instead of driving, paying attention to traffic, and then listening to a story. I always feel like I miss something. So my goal too, even though I read a lot now, read more now, I want to do at least 3 books a month actually reading.
Uh,
That's a nice goal.
It is. I'm just gonna go for one.
Uh,
So I was
Let me
forced
just
to
do one.
read. I was forced to read a book when I was on vacation in 2023, maybe 2022. It was Cicely Tyson's autobiography, but that
okay.
it was just like a book that was laying around. I was bored. I was at the house in Honduras, and I was like, I could do audio, but I don't know, for some reason I really wanted to read that Sicily book, and it was there, and I know what it was. I didn't want to pay to listen to the audio. I was like, the book is right here. It doesn't make sense. So
Hmm.
I actually read it, and what I do miss about physically reading a book is the picture inserts. You don't get that with most
Oh.
audios unless they have a PDF attached, and then it's like your song and a dance
Hmm.
to go find it. But that's kind of what I love about, especially about autobiographies, the pictures on the inside of the book.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You don't get that listening to a book.
No, not at all. I think the
And
first
I
book.
can remember when we were like, "Did you see this picture? Did you see this? Did you
Right,
see?" We
right. The
learned
first
it
book I
yet
ever read
because
like that, I think I was maybe in middle school, and it was Michael Jackson. I might have been in elementary. It was Michael Jackson's story, and it had pictures of his family and everybody on the inside. And of course, I was obsessed at the time. It was the 80s, and that kind of really got me into autobiographies, which I still love to this day. I love autobiographies. I love fiction.
I like autobiographies. I like to hear people's stories.
People be lying though, but you know. I'm like, you have, now that I'm grown, I'm like, oh, so you just was lying in that autobiography, or just omitting information, casually and conveniently for your own
That
purposes.
was that
I
one
wouldn't tell my
author.
whole story.
That
Tell
one
me what I want you to know.
that one author that did Million Little Lies or Million Little Something. The white guy that
I know which one you're
was on
Oh,
talking
Oprah.
about.
Fry, was his name Fry? He was on Oprah.
Right.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Come to find out, book was full of lies.
And
Same
was
thing
that
with
his auto?
Angela's Ashes. People were saying that Angela's Ashes may have been had a little flavor added into it.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't mind, if especially if you're telling a story and I'm reading it, I mean, because I feel like everybody embellishes a tiny bit. If it's going to be like, oh, it was like maybe 5 people in the room and you made it out to be like 10 or 20 or something like that. I don't mind it, but outright lies like that guy did because he made up a whole drug induced he just told straight out lies. I remember that book.
Oh, is
Yeah.
that he was that from Oprah's
Yeah.
book club?
Oprah's book
Yes.
club.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Had him on, featured him on the
Right, I
book.
remember that.
And
Hmm.
which was the reason, it sounded so good. Let me read the book. And the book was
Hmm.
amazing.
It's
It
funny
And it
when
was
was.
like
we
right at the cusp of like right after like the crack epidemic. It
right.
was
But it's funny when we cross reference books. So that happened last year when we read Bob Johnson's wife's book and his mistress's
Oh,
book.
yes.
So
Hmm.
I wouldn't say there were lies per se, but the story was
Different
interpreted
perspectives.
differently.
there
So
was different
that was
perspectives.
interesting. Like now, he must have a book out because he's sounds like he's a
He
super
does not.
narcissist. But when his book comes out, I got to read his take on everything because I'm sure he's going to tell a totally different story.
Probably would be good for him not to.
I don't think he will.
Just
I don't think
I'm
he will.
just
surprised
one.
he doesn't. I'm shocked that he
Yeah,
doesn't have one.
yeah.
I
Tracy,
mean, when you think about, especially autobiographies, there are not a lot of men who do them.
Yeah.
Biographies about them, yes, but them participating in them, a lot of them don't.
Mm.
Famous men.
LL Cool J was one of the first ones.
A
I read.
good one.
Remember?
Excellent. Excellent.
such a
Yes.
great
LL Cool
author,
J.
Norma.
You what? I didn't
You
read
know
it.
you were
I didn't even
drawn
know he
because
had one.
you wanted to know that he was such a great author.
Right.
Exactly. It was
That
it
was
was
the,
his
that was the attraction,
his
wasn't it?
the cerebral,
Gosh, that was
prose.
like that had to have been almost 20 years ago.
I didn't even know he had a book out.
That was a good book.
It was
Behind the
when
scenes.
Tracy says it like that was a good book. I'm
Yeah.
guessing there was some mess going up in there.
It was the right amount of messy, the right amount of like his
Right. And he
story.
was, you gotta think about it. He was really young when he entered the industry.
Yeah.
He
And he
was. He
was,
A
was still
child
yeah.
like in high
star,
school.
essentially. A
Hmm
child star because he was like 15, 16.
Yep.
So
hmm
yeah.
And he hasn't aged a bit.
No,
No.
he
He
had.
looks good.
No, he still looks delicious.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. He always had a big head, that big bald head. It just never did
Girl, that's why
nothing.
the man just started taking his cap
Angle.
off. You can't
And
say
he
that.
Just
Exactly.
started, okay?
He did he has like a
Well,
little,
I'm imagining that had never came off in no situation.
I'm sure they did not.
he would have to keep it on.
He
Just
just
like, you know how
started
like
The
taking
sometimes
it
Timbs,
off.
he had the
He used to
Timbs
lick his
on
lips.
and the hat and the New NYC fit
Aw.
Mm-hmm.
didn't come off.
the
He's
lip
so good
thing
looking.
drove me insane.
Oh, you
In a
didn't like the
bad
That was
lifting?
the
way.
most annoying thing ever.
Really?
Yes. Because it was just, oh,
Well,
Everybody
it was
can't
obvious.
do
annoying
it.
when other
Hmm?
fellas did it.
Michael Jordan can do it. That's it.
But on, yeah,
So
when you're
I was
walking
Now,
down the
Michael
watching
street,
Jordan doing it like that.
Oh, he would put his tongue out, honey,
all
going
the
to
way,
his
remember
mooch.
before
Yeah,
he
but that was like different basketball. I get it. But LL will be talking to you in a
so I was
conversation. He like,
watching Shine Barrows.
like
I
stop.
He says
was
that now until he's up in her face sitting.
Yeah, oh,
listen,
it's always different when somebody's in your face. But I'm just saying, from
but
a distance,
he has nice lips. If he had
he does.
bad
He said
lips,
just
he
it would
does. He does. But you also know that if you keep licking your lips like that, you're going to end up with them being ashy. So you know he's
And
got
they
the
never have been ashy. In
they
all
have
no.
these
never.
years,
He
I've
got
never
good
seen not
skin.
one bit of white
that
ash anywhere.
Vaseline, he must have a
Hmm.
chapstick
He
in his
definitely has the
pocket.
Vaseline.
I swear
Simone,
he should have like
a sponsorship, right?
a
An
sponsorship or
endorsement.
something like
Yeah.
that, you know? Yep.
Simone kept her man right. It's okay.
I
Yes.
like her.
Yeah.
I
I
like
do
her
like
too.
Simone.
She's so teeny. I love her. I like
I
Yeah,
her.
like her.
she's
The
pretty
So
cool.
sassy.
he did well, and he got married young and stayed with his wife. I love
Ma'am,
that.
Mm-hmm.
you read the book.
Oh
Read
no.
the book.
He
Yeah.
did get married young and he did stay with his wife. Just read the book though.
But he was a
Yeah.
mess. He was like Magic Johnson mess.
Like
I
the
don't know
mo-
if he was
Well,
that bad.
because the
no,
80s
because
was
he's
a
getting
time.
married.
He was just a
You know,
ladies' man.
there are categories to that kind of thing.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
let's not disparage that
There
man's
are
name.
levels to
Magic,
it.
since he just got a medal of honor.
Who?
Magic, yesterday.
He
I
did.
think it was
Girl, I
yesterday.
ain't watching the news. I don't know what the hell
Or
is.
Friday, one of them Friday, I think. It's a
Oh,
bunch of
really?
people.
Oh no,
Denzel and him. Denzel and
Yes, I
Magic
saw
got
that.
I'm a
got
fan
awards.
of Magic. I'm just saying he did a lot of dirt on Cookie, and then
Did.
they got married, and
Yeah.
then that thing happened. I mean, he's lucky she stayed with him.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think he understands that.
I think he understands that now. So
And
that's
yeah.
good. I was
He's
just
just
wondering
lucky,
if
period.
LL was
He
on that
really
same
is.
level, just all
Fortunate
out
enough
in the
to have
street.
the financial means to be able to manage that health
At
crisis.
that time, because
Yeah.
that was a lot.
Yeah, because
Not
back
giving
then
him or men
couldn't-
like him, stars like him, the excuse, but there are so many women throwing themselves constantly at them. And to be young and to have all those women in front of you for one reason only, it becomes less of a
You know,
Yeah.
that's why I don't like necessarily just say harsh things about them, because that's exactly the point. I don't know how I would be if I had just men just throwing themselves at me all the
And
time.
and
If I would
unlimited
be,
unlimited funds to do.
Yes, that's
Right.
First of
I
I
all,
might
see
not
where
be.
you're wrong. You
the
imagine
and you don't even really need to have funds. I
let me
can't
tell
reveal the
you,
story
the
I know, but you don't really need to even have funds. Just the proximity of being
being close to
near
someone.
somebody who
Exactly.
has that. They don't
Mhm.
spend no money on you.
first of
They
all,
do not spend no money on you.
the brokies are out here acting up. So what do you imagine if you have a couple of dollars and a career? Like, come on.
Yep. They
People
just want to
throwing their
they want to
panties on
sit
you
in your they
on the
want to sit in
stage.
your section. They want to do I remember for the inauguration, we were at the park, and so we were up in the VIP, and Lamont Rucker was there. So now I'm in the VIP. Yes, Jalen Rose was there. Um, a couple of other known people, but I was hot and thirsty, and there was a whole bucket of beverages, and alcoholic and non-alcoholic. I just wanted water. I didn't necessarily want a drink. And so I just took, the Voss water, the nice Voss clear water bottles that they had, and I took that, and so I spoke to him. I said hi to him, and we began to talk. He offered me a drink, and that's when I was like, "Oh yeah, you didn't took that water from his bucket." But he wasn't. He was so nice. He was so kind. He was actually with his now wife,
Mm.
and so we chatted for a bit, and of course, most folks don't like Boston, but he was
They
really,
don't
really
they
nice.
don't understand Boston.
Well, yeah, but he was really, really nice, and but I didn't want anything from him. You know what I mean? I just wanted
Mhm.
some water because I was hot, and
I
he
thought you
was
was
good with
doing a
it.
metaphor at first when you say you was hot and thirsty. I'm like,
I
oh, this
did
about to
too.
be
I'm like,
good.
what?
What was it for?
It was
The
Obama's
inauguration.
inauguration,
Which one?
his
Because it was
first.
freezing. Oh, because you was inside.
Oh yeah, oh
Oh,
yeah,
She
because
said
yeah.
she
it
was
I
in
was
the
was
one of the ones
in the
outside
VIP.
with
no, no,
9 kids.
no. We
I
were not.
went to the second one. It was gorgeous. It was so
We
warm.
went to the
That first
first
one was
one,
Mhm.
and the
ridiculously
plan was
cold.
to go, but when I tell you it was more than a brick outside. We were just
Mm.
like,
Hmm.
I
we
went to
just
the second one. I don't even remember how cold it was because I was just so
It was
happy.
very nice. It
The
was
second one was the
unseasonably.
weather was much
It
better.
was unseasonable. It was really, really nice.
Yeah, that first one was insane, and it was so. I always tell the
yeah.
story. I'm standing next to somebody, and this whole family had came from Finland to see
Wow.
him
Okay,
inaugurate it.
nice.
Wow.
Yeah, but it
Tracy,
was.
can I say something? You're a little pixelated a bit.
I'm a little
Can you?
pixelated.
Yeah, do you see
It
that?
it fixes it works itself out. I don't
Okay.
know
Okay.
why it does that.
Okay.
And I know this is just with Tracy, but no, it always does that. But if it just fixes itself out,
Okay. All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I look okay on my end. It's fine. Y'all can hear my voice.
Yeah. It's not, I can see you.
Hmm. It's just not super clear, but
Right.
yeah, we.
Yeah.
Thanks for bringing up our technical issues, Teresa.
And I did it right when there was like you could have a good little cut.
I don't do that. A lot of work. We'll see. But anyway. So what going forward? I mean, we had, a really good book club year. I I think I've said this like the last time, and the reason why we wanted to have you is like I appreciate the sisterhood that we have. You guys have really been there for me. I had a rough year, and I appreciate the calls, the texts. I'm not going to get emotional because I get like that sometimes, but the calls, the texts, and then just the checking in. And it's very rare sometimes when you're on the internet and you hear people talk about their friendships, especially amongst Black women. And I'm like, who do you all know? What type of women are you? Because honestly, I don't know any Black women in my circle that I can't depend on to an extent.
But
And you say
you
there are levels.
but that's to your
Shit.
point. I think when we see things online, that's what we're hearing because that's what people are putting out there. Generally, if people are happy, they're less likely to be vocal about it, but more vocal about
About
negativity.
things
That
like
I think that's a
exactly.
human trait, but I also think that a lot of people, gravitate towards the internet for messiness. So it's just like if you go to an amazing restaurant, you can go to 10 amazing restaurants, you go to one terrible restaurant, you're going to want to complain about the most terrible restaurant you went to, but you forgot about the 10 great ones that you just
Right.
had the
Mhm.
experience with. So I think the internet is the same way. But also, I think people have normalized a lot of toxic relationships with women. Like, personally, I wouldn't be in a circle with women that I couldn't, like, depend on and reciprocate and respect. I don't like being in circles with people and then turn around and talking about the person and this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying everything's perfect, or, everything that comes out of my mouth is 100% positivity, but I would say, like, I try not to surround myself with people that don't have anything in common with me. Number one. Number two, I don't respect, or that I just don't want to socialize with. Like, I don't force those relationships.
Yeah,
And
because
I
this is
think
not Real Housewives. I don't
no, and
understand.
I hate that stuff. Like, I would never want to, like, call somebody a friend that I just threw a drink in her face last week and now we're at brunch. Like, I don't roll like that. I don't like
Or I'm
that.
jumping
I
across the
agree.
table to try to attack you.
Yeah.
You know,
And I think a
if
lot of
I'm
that
doing all of that, then
s-
yeah.
stems from reality TV. I don't watch it. It's just so ratchet. And when you see older women, 30 plus, acting a fool on TV, it sends a message, in my opinion,
Increase
to
those
whoever.
numbers though, Norma. Those numbers are 45 plus
Okay, but right.
that are on
So you're like,
television
what the heck is going
having these
on?
very toxic, violent
Right.
interactions with
Fighting over
one
men,
another
fighting over
and very
just
disrespectful interactions. And so I did watch reality TV, a lot. And then I began to wean myself off because I'm like, okay, I don't understand what the point of this is, because this is supposed to be your good friend, but you jumping across the table ready to take
Every
her head off
season?
every season.
Every
every
week.
episode. Yes.
Yeah, every week of every season.
Hmm.
Yeah, so
But
it's just
then
like, yeah,
what's more troubling is the acting like nothing happened and squashing it so abruptly without any reconciliation. Like, just acting like, "Oh, well, girl, I did try to slap you last week, but let's go into this hookah lounge." Like, no, I don't.
right.
If
No,
we have
let me invite
problems.
you to. I'm having a baby shower for my so and so. Come to my house. You ain't coming
Right,
to my house
right,
Right.
right. And
if
what
we're
I could
doing all of this.
what
And
I
I
could
get
say.
it was for ratings, but it also spilled over into society and
Yeah,
how,
people
you
believe
know,
that and they don't realize a lot of this is scripted. While there may be some real resentments there, a lot of this is amplified for entertainment purposes, and people are not understanding and
That's
realizing
what
that
that
this is
is.
not 100% real. Like, so a lot of this is fake. But what I could say about each of you is, like, if I was in a bind, if I, needed a friend, if I need a shoulder to cry on, I could call any one of you any hour of the day, and you would listen to me. I could text you, you could text me, and I'm gonna listen to you, and I'm gonna try to encourage you. I'm gonna try to help you if I can. That's how friendship should, that's what real friendship is. And a lot of people don't understand what it really means to be in a friendship. That is a relationship. Just like your relationship with your significant other, it should be based on some, on a number of standards. Like, people, I think people are too loose with how they call people friends.
So that's one of my challenges, I think, coming out of 2023, 2024, going into 2025 is like relanguaging that
Mm.
word, like, because everyone is not your friend. It's not that description of friendship that you know. It can be something else. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's something bad. I've had some relationships that have been growing. They've been very respectful and kind and thoughtful friendships. And so I'm welcoming those things, but it is a challenge to claim everybody as your friend. I love the book club. It's like I've been here from day one. So this is of value to me in so many ways. I look forward to our meetings. We only meet once a month. Sometimes I'll see, some of you all, off book club cycle, but I look forward to those Fridays that we get to meet, talk about the books, talk about everything else in life that's going on. What is our book club? It's a gang or something like that.
Yeah.
That has been referred to. Uh, wasn't it Maxwell that used to say that about our book
It used
club?
to be like book club.
Yeah, yeah,
If you don't go upstairs.
right. And so, the book club has been really just, everything that I feel like I've needed in my life outside of just reading books. It's become more than just that. And that's the value to me of the book club and the friendships and the relationships that have developed out of this group.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love that. That's a great way of putting it.
Yep. Yep. So I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'm
It's like
invested.
it's like a gang. You get jumped in, and when you wait,
That
you
used to
don't get
be
to
so
go
that
out.
used to it's a joke, but it ain't a joke
It's
because
No.
right, right,
people
right.
was trying to come back and forth and was like, hold up. This is not what we do. Now
Yeah, trying to recruit new members, not no new friends.
that
Right. It just got too
right.
It's
challenging.
a very, it's not. I don't know. It's a very interesting thing because I don't know that anybody else could come into this book club.
It would have to be a very special person. Like really I can't even think of who it would be either.
Me
Like
neither.
sister wives.
I,
You
I know,
know.
because remember my daughter-in-law was trying to sneak in.
Listen, I encourage others to start their own
You
book
know,
clubs.
right. I
She
know
was
a
she was
couple
good though.
times we had invited people just for one or two book clubs. That was fun.
We
Yeah,
even invited
Yeah,
men,
it's always
which
nice
was
to hear a different
interesting.
yeah.
perspective.
We
Oh,
had
yes.
the
I
men invite
remember.
was good. Yep,
I'm
that was
not saying
good.
nothing, but anyway, I remember back in the day.
She already told that story on
Oh,
here.
okay. And I'm like, that guy looks familiar. Years later, I'm like, wait a minute.
Who are you talking about? My husband?
Yes.
But
We need to do another one. We
we
need to do
do.
another
Yes,
book
And we
club.
talked
yes.
about that, about having another one but you know, all of us got to read the book. That's number one, including the
Hello.
guests. Everybody got to read the book to be able to participate. But it's fun to get a different perspective because one of our book club members at one point, her husband said that he thought we were having pillow fights. That's what we really do
Right.
at book club. I'm like,
Yeah.
sir, it's not pillow fights.
Tickle parties.
Tickle parties.
What, your husband, Tracy?
Hell no.
Oh no.
He know his wife reads. Okay,
Amen to that.
he's
And I
been
also like
here.
when we,
Talking to a coworker of mine, and she just started dating this guy, and so she's just like giving me a description of him. I'm like, that's great. And then she said, and on this day he goes to book club. I said, wait, he goes to a book club? He has a book club. She don't even read like that. He is in a book club. I like, girl, marry that man. I
Yep.
love a man that can read, but you don't get that a
Nope.
That's
lot.
pretty
Nope.
cool.
But when you do, you got to snatch him up.
Now wait a minute. Pre-marriage, I did go out with somebody that carried a book and read, but I, I won't say anything that happened to that person here on the podcast.
Was there violence
Go ahead
involving
and tell it.
plastic?
There might have been some active activity that was happening.
Are we outside the
Um,
statute of limitations for you, Teresa?
we're not
Because
sure
I
yet, but
don't
so
Okay.
I don't want anything to
so
happen to you. I can take care of Janelle
yes,
though, if
yes.
and put something on your books if I have to.
But on
I'm not saying
somebody on
all
my
of them, but it
book,
is a good quality to have when you find a
yes,
man that
somebody
definitely reads. That's
somebody
like,
that actually picks up a book and read, and my husband is just that person. He reads. He
Yeah,
reads a lot
yeah.
of things. I was just telling someone he cooked Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's.
that's what's up.
Wow.
I'm like,
And he's a good cook, I remember.
Yeah.
yes, yes, he
Oh yeah,
is.
because he cooked at the book club meeting, right?
Hmm.
But I
That,
wasn't there
yes,
that year.
yes, yes.
Um,
Jambalaya.
yes. And
Oh,
also, I think what's special too is when we have the opportunity to invite the author into our space and they actually
oh
show up,
yeah.
and it's just
Yeah.
such a wow moment
Yeah.
when we can really pick their brains or find out what they really meant, or their interpretation, the real interpretation of a character
Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
versus
I loved
ours. I'm like,
That
oh,
is
so let's go around. Who were your favorites, like of authors that came and participated? Who were your favorites?
So those
oh
the two that you had, Carmen and give
I
oh,
think I know who you're talking
Bernice?
about because that's gonna be my
Bernice.
favorite.
Bernice
Bernice.
McFadden?
Bernice
Yes.
Great.
McFadden.
Yes.
I
Those
love her books.
those were really great interactive. I mean, just I love the fact that they were willing to participate. That always, makes it even extra special because they've got lives, you know,
Right.
as well as we do, but to commit to coming on to a complete strangers book club and participating in, the kind of the reviewing of your work.
Whose was
Yeah.
yours, Norma?
Bernice was definitely mine. I
Bernice L.
really
Yeah.
McFadden. She
enjoyed
has a new
it.
book
And I
coming out,
also,
by the way. A new
I,
book
s-
coming out about like family legacy of trauma from the female
mhm.
perspective. I'm so excited to read that book.
That's
I
so
don't
her.
Yeah.
I don't remember the title. My favorite was Dapper Dan. I love all the
Oh,
people you
yes.
mentioned,
Yeah.
but can't
Yes.
nobody rock with my
I
boy
was,
Dap.
So
Like,
we didn't have him participate, but that trip, the whole surprise kind of thing,
Mhm.
like top tier. Like
yeah.
Tracy and I had made arrangements for us to do the whole photo shoot and everything like that. And she would like message me, change your plans. And what a great change of plans that was.
Yeah. And
Like
he's like
I
close
just
read
to 80
the
now.
book. I read the
so
book, but I don't think I was there when
you weren't on the trip. I mean, he spent time with
I
us.
don't think I
First
was
of all,
in
we
the book
got the
club then.
tour of his salon downstairs, but he
Mm-hmm.
took us upstairs where he hosts private parties, kind of his living situation. It was beautiful. Not everybody gets to go into that upper space.
Yeah.
He walked us down to our favorite shop, Nilu in
Yes.
Harlem on Lenox Avenue, and his book was there. He autographed our books for us. He like spent time with us.
And he was
That
pointing out like
was
this used to be a synagogue. This used to be this.
yeah.
This used it was like a history lesson, a book
He was real
club
intentional.
meeting,
Mhm.
a meet and greet. It was like everything wrapped up in one. Shahida, you
It
had
was.
just rejoined when we
Yeah.
went.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were
Mm-hmm.
either just rejoined or about to rejoin when we
Mm-hmm.
went.
I remember because I did read the book,
Yeah.
and I think I read the book after you guys came back, and I enjoyed it.
But yeah,
Yeah.
if we're going to actual like Q&As, I think Bernice L. McFadden was definitely is a tie between her and Carmen Rita Wong. But for me, Bernice, because her story was fictionalized, but
Mm-hmm.
she just it was the character
There
development
was
and
so
how
many
she
good characters.
she
Yeah.
Yeah.
fleshed out for us where those characters came from and how it was based
her
on her
family.
own
Mhm.
family. I was just like, it's like this lady is, oh, she's so just powerful. She's one of the most
Oh,
powerful writers of our
yeah.
time. And then I thought about Tina McElroy Ansa. She had joined us by phone one time. And she did she join us by phone? I think she did. We got her at one
What
point
book did she?
and she passed away, baby of the family.
Yeah.
And the other one with the oh gosh, what's the name? It's one of my favorites where the ghost came back to life and her lover was the ghost. The
I don't
hand I
remember.
fan with.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
Yeah,
Wow,
so
Tracy.
that was really
What,
good. Those I would love to like reread those because and that brings me to
There's
another.
some read.
Well, so Shahida, who is your favorite that came to visit?
I just said well everybody else, Bernice
The
McFadden
same
was my
ones. So
favorite.
I was just saying,
Because we
like,
didn't have that many this year. That was like was that the last 2 years? It was Bernice and Carmen.
yeah,
It was like
well,
within
we
we
the
had
had
other
last
people
2 years.
though. We had
we had
other
some
people.
local
Yeah.
people. We had my friend Tommy.
Yes.
Yes.
Donahue.
That
He
was a
Yes.
was
good
so
one.
tickled.
He was
You
in
know, my memory
person.
don't go back that
Yeah,
far.
he
2
came in
years is the
person
limit.
and he
Well,
brought us
Two
ice
years.
yeah, we
cream.
took pictures and everything.
Yeah,
That's
Hmm.
all I remember.
that was pretty
But
cool.
she was really good. I liked her. Yeah, we should
I
try
think
and
what
get
we
more
should
people.
do moving forward is like, when we have our annual, holiday gathering in December is when maybe we should take that time to like get a poll to figure, find out, who was the book that you enjoyed the most,
Hmm.
in the year,
Mm-hmm.
you
I
know.
know I was actually thinking about that today, like what book did I enjoy the most? And that's another thing. And I actually started a list because I get things so mixed up. So I might be like, "Oh, I enjoyed this book and it was actually 2023 that we read it, not 2024." So
Yeah.
I'm taking a running tally this year of the books I
So
watched,
you
the
don't you don't
movies
have
I
to.
watched, and the series I
So the
liked.
books you don't have to do because I keep that list and I
Right.
circulate it every year, like supposed to be in December, but it hasn't happened yet. So we're getting there.
Another
So,
thing that I really appreciate is that we eat good when we meet.
yes.
Oh,
We eat and we all put a lot of thought into the menu and it shows. I always look forward to like a 5-star meal,
And the
Yeah.
dinner,
food and the drinks.
and the drinks. All right, the dessert. Like, come on,
Yes.
man.
There's a
Yeah.
salad. Oh, so Shahida made an amazing salad that I copied for a long time and kept making. I made that salad for like a straight year. That
that sounds really good.
cranberry, apple, goat
Oh,
cheese, and walnut
yes.
Yes,
salad.
it
Yum, yum,
I
yum.
was
was
Hmm.
I
delicious.
was making that on the reg, and then sorry, not Norma. Donna had made this salad that she got
The
from
Thai.
Target. I was
Yep,
tearing
Yes.
I
that
got it
salad
So
up.
good. So
And
good.
then
Yes.
Target stopped carrying it, and I
It,
was
Really?
verklempt about it. It was the Thai like chili one, but they have
Yeah.
it
Yep.
at Dave's, Shahida.
Yeah, because I got it. I didn't get it at Dave's, but I went to the one at Aldi's. They have it, but it's not
oh,
as good as the one
Okay.
at Target.
The one in
So, but then
Dave's
maybe
is
because
identical.
Dave's is good.
Identical. I feel like
Okay.
they're maybe the same distributor, just different labels.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
just as good. It's so freaking delicious. But you've all made amazing things. Like Teresa always makes something like very upscale for us. It's always a very highbrow. And Norma, you put the spread out, girl, because I'm ready for the buffet. You put it on the little counter area.
like self-serve.
I'm like, I'm about to get some salad. I'm gonna get some
And I'm like, it
this
takes
pasta.
them home. Yes.
What did you make? You made something one time that was really good too. Or I might be mixing up, but you made some. Oh, and then you had your friend come over and make some food for us one time too.
Oh, yes, my Jamaican friend,
Yeah,
Yeah.
John,
that's good.
Yeah, I remember
he
that. That was
came.
good.
The
He
drinks are top
loves to cook.
tier, even though I don't drink, but I
It,
try
wait a minute. She
and
take
take a
two
sip.
sips.
Yeah,
Wasting
we've
my
had some.
wasting
The
my good
lemon drop by
alcohol.
far will always be my favorite drink.
The
What
what?
is it?
The lemon drop
Oh,
martini.
Oh,
we were
Oh,
cutting
It's
up that
Teresa.
night.
so the
When I
whole story about the lemon drops, because Shahida, I don't think you were in the club then.
no,
So
Mm-mm.
I
this,
was. Isn't that
during
because we? I had the lemon drop, didn't Norma?
oh,
It
well,
was
I
at
we had
did it during
Teresa's.
COVID, but Teresa
During
originated it,
COVID,
or
yeah, I did.
so
Oprah
this was back
originated it.
when Oprah like
Yes,
fell in love with lemon drop, martini. So I'm like,
I
I'm
did
gonna
like
make
she was
it.
over here
this,
squeezing.
girl. I mean,
Oprah was
everything's
having her
fresh.
brunch. Oprah was having her brunch, and that's when she kind of made it popular.
Yep.
Mhm.
So
Okay,
I'm like, I'm going.
and
This
it
is what
did
I
get
would get at
popular because
Girls for the Book Club, and so everything is
We were
fresh, and I
lit.
got everything laid out. Girl, we was so
We was
messed
af-
up. We was
I,
say
standing up
we were
in
fucked
a
up.
circle
We were
in
fucked
my
up.
kitchen. We was
yes,
that jacked up. We were
We
standing.
were
right.
blasted, okay?
Okay,
And
Yes,
because it's pure alcohol and lemon juice, basically.
right.
it's so
Fresh lemon juice is the key.
it's
Mhm.
not uncommon, depending on whose house the event is at, that people will hear us from the street. So we would
Yeah,
have
Right.
definitely gotten kicked off the wine train a couple of times.
we'd been
Definitely.
filing a lawsuit.
We would have we need to
Could have had
go
some
out
money
to
though.
California and get loud
Okay,
and just have our regular book club on the train so we can get paid, because
okay,
that would have been us. The sisters that got
yep,
kicked off that wine train, that would have been us, because definitely we could be heard from the streets. Definitely when I lived in Hyde Park, people could hear
yeah.
us
Your
from the
neighbors.
streets.
You're like, look, it's once a year. You can deal with it.
They're like
Yep.
book clubs, kind of rowdy in there.
Yeah, that's a
We're
month.
just
Just doing it there.
laughing.
Y'all reading books?
Especially when
Make
our
no
kids are in the other room. They're like,
Our kids, and it's funny because our kids grew up with this. Our kids
yes.
grew up
Mhm,
with us
mhm.
having book club and being part of it. So definitely my kids. I'm
And having all
like,
these aunties.
and they know like on my night, it's like y'all cleaning this, you helping me prep this. I need you to move this
Mhm.
furniture around. Like it's a family affair. My husband knows like you need to do your part, and then you need to get ghosts. He's like,
Right.
Book club
Can
night.
your children read?
Book club night. I take off the whole day because I
I
need
Mm.
to
me
read
Yeah,
all
too. I
day.
would take a half day
Like I
or the
can't
full
yeah, I would
imagine
day.
have to do
I
the whole day as
trying to
well.
host a book club meeting. This is an event.
It really is.
Well,
You know,
if you're gonna put out a 5-star meal, listen,
I'm
you
gonna need
gotta
all day.
yeah. And Shahida, you made Berea pizza one time. That was really good. That was the same
Yeah.
night. That was
Yeah,
really
that was
good.
a
Yes,
TikTok
Was
meal.
that
That
good.
was
was a
good.
TikTok meal. That was with
Yeah.
the
You know,
salad.
I'd be like over there, like I just be like eating and eating.
Right.
The last time we were at your house, Teresa, that was really delicious too. The
What do
pasta
we have? Oh, a
was it
pasta.
pasta.
Oh, with yes, I can't remember
That was
exactly how.
phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna need my husband to start coming and
Yeah,
make.
just having chef it up
And
and
what? And cooking?
Yeah, 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 yes.
That would probably be that's the hardest part for me is figuring out
The menu.
what I'm going to cook for. And it's I'm always searching like TikTok or something to find something like just kind of like new.
Don't be making them little TikTok meals and testing them out
that's
on
what
us.
I
that's what
do.
she did last time.
That's-
Oh, you didn't serve this TikTok.
It was
She
good.
definitely served up
I
TikTok and
even
it
got
was
I even got the
delicious.
did I get the salad
My
from
pretty behind went back for seconds and thirds, I
Oh
believe.
yeah. I love when we can
Oh,
have
check this out. I got
leftovers.
my little butterfly on
I
today.
see. That's so cute.
Ooh.
The
I
symbol.
started to
My favorite meal to make, and I haven't made it in a while, is the fish stew because I can't eat shrimp anymore. I don't know if you guys
Yes.
remember that.
Mm.
Like, why are you making
I
that?
made a Bermuda fish chowder for the book
Ooh,
club one day, and it's
it's hearty, especially when it's
Oh, that
cold
does
out.
sound
It's
good. So
warms
I
your
try to draw inspiration from the book. So usually if there's a
same.
yeah.
theme I can
yes.
draw from, didn't I make schnitzel one time? Chicken
You
schnitzel. Oh, well, we read the German book with the black gentleman who lived through World War II.
Oh,
I was making German food. I don't know, didn't know. I was like, listen, we gonna get some German
Yep.
food. One time I did Dominican for Carmen
Yep.
Rita.
Mhm.
I even did
Yeah.
Ethiopian food or African
Oh
food once. I
yes.
did
I
not
remember
know
that.
what I was
Yeah.
doing.
You definitely do that a lot. I remember when I came back from Egypt, I made shawarma for you guys.
Oh
Shawarma.
yeah.
Yeah, that
We
was good.
all we read the Joy Luck Club. I ordered
Yep.
Chinese food.
Beef and broccoli. I
You
remember that.
That
That's
was
know,
good.
so
didn't we
I
have
have
like 12
sort of done
members
that,
then? It was like
huh?
12,
We
12
started
members then.
with 12.
Yeah, we started with
Okay.
12.
But when we had Joy Luck Club, that was like 12 members. It was like it
Yeah,
was full.
that was
There have been
early.
times where we had a full house and people, have left for various reasons. It's normally like
Mhm.
work
Or
has
they moved
gotten
out of
too much
town,
or they relocate. Some people have relocated out. But our furthest member is from Bermuda, and even when she was in Bermuda sometimes she would be part of our book
She
club
would still
too.
come out.
So
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Mhm.
we international, okay? We got
Okay.
different
Right.
time zones. We got a member in Texas right now. Leah's in
Mhm.
Texas, Leslie was in Bermuda. So yeah, we
And Leah was trying to
international.
get on. She said she couldn't get on. I was texting her, but
We started in Boston and none of us live in Boston.
Right.
I was like, wow.
Yeah.
I hadn't thought about
no,
that.
I lived in Boston when
No,
I
she means
started.
Well, I
currently.
Yeah.
mean now,
Oh,
currently, none of
After
Yeah,
us
but
we,
do.
yeah,
currently, yeah.
We're all we're all south of Boston though.
yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's true.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm glad because I ain't trying to go north. Shoot.
Remember when Leslie lived on the other? I'm like, oh
Oh
man.
yeah, she was the one that lived like I'm like,
And
ugh,
oh,
She might as well
ugh.
going
have been in Texas because
What
it
on
was
the
right.
like,
next
That
one?
was
sis,
oh
I think it was
Because I wasn't
Malden
in
or Medford.
when Leslie was
Medford,
being
Yeah.
in.
Malden, one of them. One
Yeah.
of them
we
M's.
had to go back through
I'd
Boston, past
rather go to her in North Carolina then go
Same.
back to
in
Medford.
Medford Hall. Yeah.
Oh my.
Agreed. That was a commute.
That's a
Exactly.
Massachusetts thing. Like if you're from the South Shore, you don't rock with the North Shore. If you're from the North
That's
Shore,
true.
you don't rock with the South like that. And the same thing with the West. It's like it's a trek to have to go to those places. I literally would rather go from Rhode Island to Mass than to go from the South Shore of Mass to the North Shore of Mass.
Right.
Right.
Oh, my light just
Agreed.
completely broke. I don't even know how I did that.
Is it your
You,
the computer one? We can still see
No,
you.
it's the back one, and it's just like literally fell off.
It gave up.
Yep, it died. I didn't have this like forever.
is it a
I'm just
ring
gonna,
light?
huh? It's a ring light, yeah, and it
We can
just
still see
just
you.
and it just
Mine's is
died.
hanging onto a thread too. So you're not, and
No,
I don't
and
even know what
actually,
the hell happened. Like, what
it is
happened?
it is a little thread. It's gone. Anyway, all right.
Yeah, but we still see you.
But I'm looking forward to this year. I don't know. We don't. So normally the way we do things is each member gets a month, and then we take a short break, a hiatus during the summery months, and then we reserve December for our holiday, and we reserve January just kind of for like anniversary shenanigans slash recalibrating for the year. So then everyone, it's a frenzy because Teresa's gonna send that email out that we're like anticipating, and then you got to pick your month and you got to pick your genre and your year. Like full disclosure, nobody wants February. That's just the reality of it. But it's usually like whoever left, who didn't get to the email quick enough, you got February. And then some of us have like historically have our months that we have held like kind of coveted, and we usually fall into those. But I'm excited for new reads this year. And
I already picked out my book.
Okay.
okay, are you gonna do a reveal, or are you gonna make us wait?
I'm gonna wait until she sends out the email, and then
Oh,
I'm gonna put my month and my book on it.
you might be
Leslie,
scrapping with some people who got that same book again, because there
Leslie,
Never
was
pick
some
my book.
overlap.
Leslie stole mine because she didn't read the list. But that's okay because she's my birthday twin, so I forgave
Right.
her.
Shout
Happy
out to
birthday,
Teresa
girl.
and I mean to I said Teresa, to Shahida and Leslie, who just have birthdays on the 3rd.
I know
Yeah.
it's been a busy week. I'm like so tired of my birthday right at this point.
Well,
Listen, I had to
I'm
try
just
to pencil
tired.
myself in. I was like, so what's your agenda for? She's like, well, I got this and I'm gonna do this. And I was like, oh, she good. Okay.
I'm tired.
But it's
So
good.
today was my rest. Today was my
So
rest day. It didn't
what
turn out
number
to
is
be
this birthday?
45.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. That's
Plus
what
Okay.
we're
tax.
saying. That's what I'm putting in my autobiography.
Exactly.
I'm stiff.
Okay. What's her name? What was the lady's name? Rice. Okay.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm sticking with that one. Yeah, I
Okay.
know. Wow, I mean, I don't look as fabulous as you, Teresa.
I would debate that because you look like you're
50,
12. So,
57. Like,
girl,
how we even get here?
How? Where?
How
look,
we even get
where,
here? Because I'm
where?
like, you know, you live 57 years because you had the, but it's like your head. I don't
That
even
number,
know how.
like you be that number don't
It
go.
don't
It's
translate.
the
I
book club.
remember
It's
in
got to be the book club.
1986 trying to figure out how old I was going to be in 2000 because it seems so far away.
And
Hmm.
wait a minute,
And
and
now
now
we're
you're
in
here.
2025.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
ain't got
I know.
no good nothing. I mean, we got like a little bit of AI, but we don't have no good. What's
I know.
the?
We thought we would be doing the Jetsons by
I thought
now,
I would
like
be
teleporting.
flying to
Right.
the grocery store. I mean, I can order DoorDash. I guess that's an improvement.
I mean, I get, yeah.
I don't
I
have
mean,
to do
but we
my own
always had
grocery
delivery.
shopping.
We always had food delivery.
Not
That
like
hasn't really.
this. Not like this.
Yeah.
And we do have Uber and we have Lyft, which is better than trying to call a taxi and wait for it to come.
Yeah.
So
See, I feel like it hasn't elevated as much as you would
Not in this country.
it could be better for 2025. Like the
for
tech we thought we were
2025.
gonna
What our
have.
imaginations were. I thought it would be a lot more techy.
Yeah.
It
This
it it definitely is in Japan.
oh yeah.
Here we're still, you
There's
know.
too much manual stuff that we still have to do out here. And I don't believe everything needs to be a shortcut. But for example, I went to a restaurant which will remain nameless in Boston
Okay.
last night. And our server came over pretty quickly and said, I'll be right back. I didn't see that lady for 20 to 25 minutes. Now, if I was in Japan, the QR
Mhm.
code would be right there. I would have been ordering my food. I wouldn't even see that lady. A robot might bring me my food.
Exactly. Yep.
And
Close.
why are we not there yet, especially in the United States?
I'll tell you, we went out to dinner, my husband and my bonus daughter and I, because we went holiday shopping. That was the Monday before Christmas. And we're at a restaurant. I will not name this restaurant, but we had a server, he came and we ordered our apps, and the apps came, but he never bought us like the plates, the forks, like, okay. So gotta wait. Somebody else came and delivered that. We ordered our food, we ate, drank, whatever. And he just bought us our check. He never asked, would you like a dessert? Would you like a refresh on
Mm.
your beverage? Another cocktail. He just bought us our bill and didn't come back. And we're like,
And probably put 20 or 30% tip on the thing already before you even had
oh
a
no, no, no,
chance.
no. So that was the whole debate. That came down to the whole debate. Because
Okay.
me and my husband, we don't play that. But the bonus daughter, because she did little rest, she was a little waitress over the summer. She had a
Ah,
waitressing job. And so she was just like, oh, you gotta leave something. And we're like, no.
see,
No.
that's how I felt when we went out in December. I didn't really want to leave homegirl nothing. I did, but I didn't want to.
Like, we really don't. But we did, but not what he would have
What he
expected.
could
But
have got.
the wait was so long, and we watching a guy like over here walking past, but never came back to check or nothing. I literally called from my phone the restaurant and said, "I'm sitting here in the restaurant, and we're waiting for someone to come back because they came. I think he came and took the check, the money that but never
Hmm.
came back. You think that change was for you? Like, you
Right.
asked, should I bring
Yeah.
you back your change?
Uh,
I called.
Not
I'm
calling
in the
from the
rest
restaurant.
in the
That is
are
restaurant.
you sitting
gangster.
there? It's diabolical. I
It was
love it.
I've never done that, but it was like the craziest thing ever. I'm just like, and that was probably the best way that I could have done it, because I really would have been upset if I had to get up and, you know,
Find
go
him.
up to
Now
get
that's
somebody.
technology. And I will say that's the time to complain because I've always been a big proponent. If you're gonna complain in a restaurant, do it after you have eaten your food.
Right.
Exactly.
No
Don't
sense.
do it
Hmm.
before
Hmm.
you eat your
Nope.
food
And there's a
because
way you do it too.
it is.
Right.
It's the
Yes.
way you do it. Yeah,
Yes.
I don't get it. I don't understand how people are being hired. There's a cadence to dining, and I don't understand where these servers are coming from. And I know they don't make a ton of money up front. They rely on their tips, so that's why you should be really dope at your job. But I think maybe people who are bad tippers are kind of making it a vicious cycle. I don't know. I don't know what the problem is. Find another profession because when I
That too involves a part of kind of upselling, right?
yeah.
Oh, well, you can have this with the chicken and the shrimp. Do you want
What
that?
are the
That's upselling.
specials? Like I
Right,
no one even tells you the
exactly.
specials anymore.
Exactly. Like I said, would you like a dessert menu? Like, never even came back for the dessert menu, but I don't want a dessert menu because I don't even know when the dessert's gonna come, because we done seen you walk past 20 times and never looked over here to check on your customer.
You get
So,
better food at book club and better service.
absolutely.
Well, let me tell about the fabulous experience I had at lunch yesterday. So I
Oh,
had lunch with my
let's.
parents. They always take me out for lunch on my birthday. That was Friday, actually. What's today? Sunday? Yeah, I'm still messed up with days. So they took me to Natia's Soul Kitchen in Taunton, and it
Mm.
just opened in November, she said. And so it was two young girls waiting on us. When I say the sweetest damn teenagers ever, they were like the best waitresses. They were so
Wow.
sweet. It was the cook would come out and ask about, it's a new restaurant and the food was really good. I had fried chicken, collard greens. Collard greens were delicious. The fried chicken was perfect. The sweet potatoes, they were okay. I don't like cinnamon in my stuff, but anyway, that's typically how they're cooked outside my house. So it was really good. So afterwards, they my actually Mia ended up sneaking up there and paying so my parents didn't have to. But my mother, whenever she goes to a black-owned restaurant, she tips everybody that works in the restaurant.
Wow,
Ah,
that's
So
dope.
isn't it? I'm like,
yeah, I've never
she's so
heard anything.
inspiring. So there was only so she had my father ask how many people were working. I think it was only like 4 people working there that night. And so she goes and she gives everybody a $20 bill. But they so deserved it. They were so excellent on top of the tip that Mia had already get. They were excellent.
I'm
So I'm
so
saying everybody
inspired
who
by that right
and
now.
Yeah,
I know
I
I
might
was too. And
I
I'm
might
like,
have to start doing that. I'm gonna borrow that.
yeah,
but you know how older black women are. They're the sweetest.
yeah.
I gotta say it.
Yeah.
You all are invited to my mama's 75th birthday party on August
Hey,
31st.
turn
Save
up,
the date.
turn up.
Save the date. Um,
Not you all, us. These four people on this podcast.
Oh, we're forgetting
Not
everybody.
not the listeners. Please don't
oh,
tell.
oh, I don't know y'all like that.
We gonna invite y'all me and Shahida gonna have something separate for y'all, but it won't be that.
Yeah,
No,
with her 75th birthday, she's excited. She's excited. But I'm just saying it's such a and I hate to say it like this, but it's such a sweet little old black lady thing to do to
Yeah,
hand out $20
that
to
is so
everybody
lovely
in the
because,
restaurant.
and
Yeah.
that does balance it out because there are going to be times that they're going to give amazing, excellent service like they did, and
Not
someone's
your
going to sift them completely. You know what I mean?
Mhm,
As and
mhm.
that's sad. So I'm sure, and like I think they raised it to what $3.89 now. Is the minimum. I think in Massachusetts, it's either Massachusetts or Rhode Island made the minimum for servers $3.89.
That's just
It was
ridiculous.
like $2 before.
I
So
know. It's just
now it's higher, but these people rely on their tips. So that's why last night, even though I was very disappointed, I still tipped the 20%. But I think the feedback needs to go to management because it
mhm.
it starts from the top down. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you staff
Mhm.
your establishment, you have to emphasize to these people, no matter what they think their tip is gonna be, they need to step it up because stepping up your game makes the restaurant flow better. People get in and out faster. You earn more
Right.
revenue like that, and people your
Mhm.
reputation is intact. I don't know how we got to talking about restaurant stuff, but it's just it burns me, especially if it's a black owned establishment, if the service is not at least good, like just be good. But I mean, we go to all kinds of establishments, and sometimes it's just terrible. But um, we do
And
go
I
to a lot
expect
of places, and it's good.
if you spending your money
right.
to eat this food, and then your waitress or what, I expect you to match my energy. Like if I'm being
Yeah.
kind and like little, and just match my energy. Don't slam my food down. Don't take forever to bring me water because I'm always most of the time nice.
And we go
Yeah,
to restaurants to eat. We already hungry when we get there.
right.
Mhm.
We're
And it's a treat now.
looking forward to this experience, and then when it comes up short, it's like,
It's a disappointment.
yeah,
Yeah.
And that's the worst thing is be disappointed about food.
yeah,
When you're eating your food, you want to do a little dance. You know how we do when it's really good.
Yes.
Want to be able to have that little jig going on. No,
yep,
I don't want to be disappointed.
Yeah,
yep.
But
definitely.
yeah, the Natia's is in Taunton. It's on Main Street. Go and check
We'll
it
have
out.
to
The
tag
tea.
them in our posts. That's interesting.
Hmm
I'd like to go there. Maybe we have to have a little meetup over
Those
there.
girls, they had to been like
Okay,
15, 16. They were just
That's
the sweetest.
cool. I
They
love
were
that.
very very sweet. I loved it. So, and the food was good. So,
good. Good.
what we were talking about before we get ready to log this, wrap this up, what we're looking forward to in the new year for our book club. Like I already said, I already have my book already picked out. I'm going for November. Anybody else? I'm not saying what it is.
I
I
don't
don't,
have
you
my
have,
book picked out yet, but I am looking forward to I did much better this past year keeping up with the books and being prepared for the meetings. So I'm looking forward to that's one of my goals is to stay on top of the books and doing more on my own my own books too.
Reading, yeah, me
Yes.
too. I feel like the last couple of years, reading has not been good for me. Like, even though I like to, even if it's like an audio book, I feel like the last couple of years I haven't been engaged in actual, like, good fiction or anything. I watch more TV than anything, but I want to get back more into reading and there's so many things to choose from. But there's so many
Mhm.
things to choose from on TV, so just pick up a book. But I just need that kind of downtime, actual downtime where I'm not focusing on like five or six different things. And I think reading helps me kind of like, level out more.
Yeah. We here we at my house we try to read. We bring the kid. I tell my children, turn off the TV. Let's go. Even though
Hmm.
we're young adults now, but it's nice when I walk by and I'm like, look at Maxwell. He has a new book in his hand, or he's carrying it to work.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
Kendall, she reads a lot. She likes to reread, which is amazing to me because I don't reread. I read it once.
It depends. There's a couple of books that I read like every
Hmm.
couple of years.
Hmm.
I think for me, and I posted about this, was like just kind of setting my day up. One of the things I've stopped doing is I don't watch a lot of television anymore.
Hmm.
Now I've been off for the last couple of weeks, almost 3 weeks. So I've, got, I like to binge watch programs.
Hmm.
So I've done some binging. But most of the time when I'm home, I'm in a quiet space, but I'm listening to podcasts.
Hmm.
Television is not even on. And that came out of, that was birthed out of all of the kind of the, you know, political stuff that was going on.
Hmm.
I was just like burnt out from all of the negativity. I mean, we're back to that, but I'm not letting that rule the day for me going, into
Same.
2025. It is what it
Hmm.
is. Black folks have always been
Bubble.
resilient. Yeah.
We in
We've
our
always,
bubble.
yeah, we've always been resilient.
Hmm.
We've always been able to manage through traumatic and difficult situations. So this is nothing different. So let me not let this be the thing that's going to ruin my day. So just being clear about how I start my day. Um, I do spend a lot of quiet, kind of reflective time. That is something that I do. But like I mentioned before, picking up a book, actually reading a book. I like to get at least one book a
Hmm.
month. Let me just start with one
Hmm.
and let me enjoy the quiet of that, of
Hmm.
the reading and absorbing and turning the page. I feel like I miss the turning of the pages of a book, you know. So that's kind of my goal, you know, for in terms of book club.
Hmm.
For me, I'm gonna try to make it to every scheduled meeting this year. That's a goal because
Hmm.
that can be a challenge. We all have schedules, but we know when our meetings are. They're the third Friday of every single month. So it's not like a surprise as to and the schedule's out, at the beginning of the year. So I'm gonna try to make sure that if I can avoid it, there's no overlap where I'm missing out on the opportunity to be at everyone's book club because I think that just adds a robustness to our conversations and our
Hmm.
meetings when we have as much attendance or as high attendance as possible. So there's that. I'm also going to try to maybe do something a little more out of the box for the book that I choose this year. I mean, I think not that I choose a lot of typical books, but I think maybe I'll even further challenge myself maybe to an author that's a new emerging author or maybe an independent author or something like that. I'm going to look for something that's going to shake it up a little bit for the book club this year.
I
So
concur with you on the attendance. I would
yeah, I
just
want to do the
say
attendance one
that
as
I mean
well.
I never generally miss a book club meeting. I
No,
mean
you're pretty good.
I missed it in 2023 because I got married.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So, but I generally don't, and I look forward to really seeing everybody because, like I said, sometimes you see people outside of the scheduled book club meeting, but it, like I'm not going to see, our folks that are not the two of our members that are not here. So I look forward to us getting together, for us physically being together. Those people obviously are Zooming into our meetings, but still it's that connection of,
Mhm.
you know, us being together is what I really, really look forward to. It's really been the foundation for me for these last 24 years. It's like I don't schedule usually anything
Yeah.
on
You
my,
definitely put it in my schedule. Well, I know it. Like you
well,
said,
yeah, in my
it's
book
not a
club
surprise.
meeting.
You know
Yeah,
it's every third.
yeah. So
But
it's
before
important.
we do, any advice for anybody who wants to start a book club? Or maybe even improving our book club? But I mean, I feel like we really, I mean, 20 something years, that, that's stellar in itself. But I know there are a lot of people who have said to me, like, oh, they wanting advice on how to start a book club, even as far as like selecting members. Like, we all came together through friends of friends, but it's amazing that we were able to stay kind of like connected all that time because we didn't know each other. Like,
Hmm.
I know all of you basically through the book club.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
So my advice to anybody starting it would be to keep an open mind, because you don't know what the circle might be, and then keep an open mind as far as like what books. And I would suggest they start by picking different genres like we did in the
Yes.
beginning, because that really expanded my book selection. Because I don't think, if it wasn't for the book club, I think I would just read Stephen King,
Mm.
because that's all I read back then. And he's
Yeah.
still my absolute favorite
Ooh,
author, but I have a lot more authors after him that
yeah.
I'm going to consistently read,
Right.
like Bernice McFadden. I had not read her books before,
Oh, good.
the book club.
Right. Yeah. So I would say probably just kind of like this, if you have like-minded friends, that's a start, you
Hmm.
know. Maybe it's one or two people, maybe it's three people. And you guys decide to read a book. And then from there you might, as you said, you're having a conversation with your coworker and you find out that her husband is the one that goes off to the book club meeting. That could be the same thing that could happen to someone else as you're in these different environments that or friend circles. And that you mentioned, yeah, we started a book club, about a year ago, Oh, I'd love to be a part of the book club. When do you guys meet? That opens the door for the conversation. And again, I think everything wonderful happens around a meal. So,
Mm.
Hmm.
and hopefully
In the
folks can
kitchen.
cook. I think we all cook. We all are
You
great
can order,
cooks.
you can order, just make it
Well,
be
yeah,
good and
yes.
make it be enough.
Yep. You can order, but yeah, just kind of, I think that's kind of an organic way for that to happen without, putting out a call. Um, and I think it develops over the connection and friendship that has happened with this group, you know. So I think that's a kind of a grassroots way of doing it.
What about you, Norma?
A lot of good points. And just being respectful of people and your sister friends and making those connections last. I think we did a really good job at that. And picking meaningful books, being able to actually discuss the book, um, and make room for other stuff. Like we do discuss the book, right? But then the last half or maybe the last quarter of the meeting, we talk about everything. We catch up on our
Everything.
lives. That
We
we're
asked,
we done,
Current events. It's
right. We're looking forward
it's
to. We done ate our meal. We done had a
Yep.
couple of drinks, and now we're waiting for dessert. Like, what's
yep,
it gonna be?
Yes.
exactly.
Gotta have
Yes.
dessert. Gotta have it.
Mind
Um,
you, like we don't have dessert like that. We're on a regular meal, but yeah. So it's nice. I think
Yeah.
it's um my cousin started a book club just because of our book club in Florida, and they do a lot of things that we don't do. But I was like, wow, that's really nice how you guys put a spin on it. Like they had a paint book club. They did painting. They're really
hmm.
crafty people.
hmm
Um, and there's 10 or 12 of them.
Wow.
So they went away for their anniversary. They're 5 years into. They started right before COVID, so they might be 7 years into it. So it's nice to see that there's another group.
Be
Right.
creative. Hmm.
I
Mhm.
like that. And so
Hmm.
my advice would be like you said, find people who at least have in common that they love to read and they're committed to reading books, and have a schedule so that you're not trying to, navigate the whole thing. Like, we have our year planned in advance, and whatever your schedule is, if you meet quarterly, if you meet weekly or whatever, if you meet virtually or in person, figure out what your core basis for your book club is going to be, and then be willing to shift, because we've had to make some shifts through
Sure.
our time. But also, we like to get on a little get in the car and take a little drive, or get on the
Mhm.
plane. We've taken some trips. You all went to Houston most recently as a group.
Yep.
We did Newport. Shout out to Freddie,
Love
our
Newport. Yes.
friends in Newport, Rhode
Yes.
Island, who became a friend because we went as a book club for our anniversary one year and met this amazing jack of all trades. I don't even want to call him a concierge because he's so much more than that, who
Yep.
became a friend of ours because of that. Just, enjoy spending the time with the people, and, have questions. If you're hosting your meeting, have some kind of prompts so that the conversation can flow. It's good for it to flow organically, but if you have a few reading prompts, it's always it's good to have a
Helpful.
couple of written cues to ask questions. But I like a little bit of jazzing things up, and maybe we can figure out some ways to make things a little different this year with our book club. Maybe try some activities woven in, some games or something, maybe to go along with the book.
You
We,
and Norma did a game
we've
one
had
time.
some
Yeah,
games.
we've had
Had some
games.
games, which has
And
been
we,
fun.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
let's keep
I
doing
mean,
that. We used to do
yeah.
gift giving too. Do you guys remember that? We would do a lot
Yes.
of gift giving, and that was like
Hmm.
pre-pandemic. This was maybe like 2010s. It was like I would come and I would burn a CD, and I would drop that CD up. We,
Oh,
give
yes.
everybody a
Oh,
CD with music. Like, we used to really do a lot of that. We haven't done that in a while, but
Bookmarks, bookmarkers,
Yeah.
which
yeah.
I
mhm.
don't know if you need them now, but
I
I'm
still
gonna
use
need
them.
my bookmarks now because we're gonna
okay,
be picking up
okay.
the house.
I
And
still use them.
I know Elijah had
I
made
just bought
some,
a
speaking
pack.
of my
Oh yeah.
magnets, Elijah made.
Yep.
Oh
Elijah made us some
yeah.
bookmarks. So
Hmm.
we've had a lot of great experiences, like when you really kind of think
Like,
about all the
Robbie
mhm.
had
things that
wine
we've
glasses
had.
made for us. I still have
I
my
still
Yes.
wine,
have
my
mine.
my
Yep.
sparkle
Yes.
wine glass.
Yep.
Yeah, there's
And I
Yep.
a
know
lot
you
of thought
guys
and intention in,
Yeah. Yeah.
served. Did you guys do Rosie's Place a couple of times? I know I
Yeah,
didn't.
we
Oh
did
yeah. We did
Rosie's.
Rosie's
volunteering.
Mhm.
place.
That was
Yep.
I
fun.
remember.
Yeah.
Yep. Giving back. That was great. Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
however you want to frame your book club, I mean, it's just wide open,
It is
you
wide open.
know.
Just start it and be committed to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Make a commitment for a year to actually do it, because I feel like if it starts and then you're not as committed, then it kind of lags off. But if you're just committed for that 1 year, then you'll probably more than likely continue.
Right. I mean, as you said before, we all came from out of knowing someone and how we have, I, I look at it as a family. Sometimes it's
Hmm.
dysfunctional, but it's still a family because some of us have come from dysfunctional families.
Hmm.
So this is no different. The book club to me is no different in regards to that. And it's just been, to me, it's been a great blessing to me to
It
be a
has.
part of
It has.
this situation because I could not have ever even imagined, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So all it took was just, yes, somebody asked and it was like, yeah, sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
So here we are 24 years later.
Yeah. Shout out to Boston Blacks Online for starting it off.
Right. Ken Ken
It's
um
like,
Ken
yeah.
Granderson. Ken
Yeah.
Granderson.
Yes.
Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh.
goodness. Oh,
It was a lot of people that we still are
Yes.
probably connected to
People
in
were
some ways,
dating.
and
There was a
there were a
lot
lot
going
of
on.
people.
Events going
Yeah.
on. We found
yeah.
out what was happening that weekend, or
And you know what's crazy? I connected with somebody from New Jersey that I went on to another message board with. And so how many years ago? He just got married like a couple of months ago. I can't even think. Kenny, I think his name was. So but I'm just saying, and he usually always texts me for my birthday. He didn't do it this year because he got married. So
Oh, he does. Uh-oh.
he forgot about me. But I'm just saying, but that started from Boston Blacks
Yep.
Online message board. Insane. Wow.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, ladies. Thank you so much for joining us this, Sunday evening. Of course, it's going to air tomorrow, and I hope you listen and watch it on YouTube and Spotify.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for having us.
Have a
Have a
great
good night.
night.
Until
All right.
then.
Bye.